Hi, this is Britt from Riley B Graphics. I've made some autumn leaves overlays and I just wanted to show you how to use them if you aren't familiar with overlays. These are PNG files, so they are, and I've made them transparent. So they're very easy to just put on top of your image. So in this example, I have this little boy sitting in a forest, and I'm going to take overlay number 2 and just drag and drop on top of him. Click the check mark to place it. Obviously, I don't know in your image that you're going to use where your subject's going to be, so I couldn't leave blank spaces. It might be on the side or in the center, so I've just put leaves everywhere, and then you just need to either delete them over the face, the body, wherever you don't want them, or you can mask them out. So I'm going to show you both. Deleting is easy, but it's destructive. Once it's gone, it's gone. So you're going to click on the layer of your leaves, and to be able to use the eraser, you need to rasterize that layer. So all you're going to do is right click on the leaf layer, go down to rasterize layer. You're going to take your eraser, and it's probably easiest to use a hard brush, because otherwise if it's semi-transparent you're going to have to go over it a few times to get rid of it. And then just simply erase the leaves that you don't want. Okay, and there you have them. But now say you decided that that leaf at the bottom was actually quite cute and you want it back. You know, you could sit and go to your history and undo, but the better way to do it is to use a mask. So I am going to undo what I've done there. And so that I can show you how to use a mask. Right, so you click on your leaf layer, you go down to add a layer mask. You're going to have this white block on your leaf layer now. So white means that you can see everything. Everything is visible on this layer. So all your leaves are visible. If you want to hide something, all you have to do is paint black into this white block and it just hides it. It's still there, but you can't see it. So make sure you click in this white black block, not on your overlay. On the white block, you take a paintbrush, you make sure it's black, that your paint is black. Okay, and then all you're going to do is paint, and then watch what happens. It paints black into here. You can see those are getting hidden, and you can take away whatever you like. And then if you want that big brown leaf back, you don't even have to undo. All you have to do is paint white. Now, where you painted black before, you're now going to switch. Click this little arrows, switch to white. Take your paintbrush and paint it back in. So there you have it. It's pretty easy and it's non-destructive, so that's the best way to do it. Okay, then I'm going to show you another example. To try and show you why some leaves are blurred and some are sharp. So the people here are sort of in the middle of the photo from me, from the camera to the forest at the back. So the forest at the distance, the trees are blurred, the people are sharp, and I'm going to put some leaves in front of them closer to me that are blurred. Okay, so we're going to take overlay number 3 as an example. Okay, so before I clean up the leaves here, I just want to show you the ones closest to the camera in front of the people are blurred. The ones further away in the distance are smaller and they're blurred. The ones that are sort of in the same depth as the people, I've tried to make them more or less the same size as they would be in reality, like a leaf would be so big compared to her face or so big compared to her hand, and they're a little bit sharper. So first I'm going to put a mask on here to get rid of some of these big leaves, same as we did before. Take a black brush and paint over the ones that are blocking her face. Just brush all those away. I think I'll leave that big one there. Right, so now, oops, I wiped away half of it there. Let me just Command Z, just undo that. Okay, so you can now say you decide you want a big brown leaf over here. That's why I've loaded 70 individual leaves, which are all of these plus a few that I haven't used. So you just drag and drop. You can rotate it. You can resize it, whatever you want to do with it. Say I want it up here. Okay, then you place it. So now, if it's big, if you want a nice big leaf, then it's going to have to be blurred because that's how your other big leaves are. They're close to the camera. Okay, so to blur it is pretty easy. First of all, we're going to put a motion blur on it so that it looks like it's falling. So you're just going to go up to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and all you do is you change your pixels and your angle. So mine, I just want them to drop straight down. So I've done it at minus 90 degrees. You can have your leaves going sideways if there was like a really strong wind. I'm going to exaggerate the speed now so that you can see how they are going sideways like that. I want mine to come straight down, so put it back to 90 degrees, but that's looking way too fast. So I would just take it down to about 13 so that you can still see that it's actually a leaf. Okay, and then I think it needs to be blurred, just a normal blur a little bit so that it can match these ones. So I would just go Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and you can blur it as much as you like. I mean, you can make it completely just like a blob, but I would probably put it at about 10 because I think that's what the other ones were, right about there. Okay, so there you have it. And if you want another little leaf in the background, remember, if it's going to be far in the background, it needs to be small, obviously, because it's further away. And because our camera is focused on the middle distance here, this one's also going to have to be blurred. So you can even make it smaller. Let's go Filter, oops, just place it first. Filter, first put your motion blur on. Doesn't really matter what order you do it in. Motion blur, same 13. And then I'm going to do the same Gaussian blur, also at about 10. There we go. So now it's very blurred because it's far away and it's small. If you want to put a leaf, I'm just going to move that out the way because I need that space. Let's put it over there. I want a leaf close to her arm here. Okay, so we're going to drag one in. If it's going to be close to her, it needs to be more or less in proportion size-wise to how a leaf really would be, like compared to her hand or her face or whatever. We can even overlap it a little bit if you want to. So that is, you could leave it completely sharp like that because it is right next to her, but I would maybe just put a little bit of a motion blur on it so it does look like it's falling. Yeah, maybe about like that. So there we go. So, you know, you just have to judge what you think looks right with the depth. If you layer them a little bit like this, so some are sharper, some are blurred when they're right next to each other, it gives it quite a nice depth as well. And then lastly, the other thing I just want to show you is changing color. Just going to hide these separate leaves now so it doesn't confuse the issue. Okay, so now we've got our layer. And say you really like a vivid autumn colors like oranges and reds. The easiest way I find to change color is just click on that layer Command U, which brings up your hue saturation. And then you can just move your slider. That's a little bit drastic. Move your slider till you kind of find the reds. Yeah, around about there. You can bump your saturation if you really want it very orange, or you can decrease it as well. You can desaturate if you like it browner. You can darken them if you want to. You can lighten them, but then they get a little bit washed out. You need to be careful of that. And there we go. So just play around with the colors. The same goes for an individual leaf. So I'm just going to do a really big one here to show you. Same Command U, and then you can, move your slider like this, or else put it back to 0. You can double click on the hue name to get it back to 0. You can just pick out the reds and bump the reds a little bit like that. Whatever grabs you. Okay, so I hope that wasn't too complicated. I don't think so. It's just the blurs and the sharpness, but otherwise it's pretty simple. If you stuck with anything or you need help, I'm very happy to give you any advice I can. Just give me a shout. And thanks for watching. Bye.